Rejoice, everyone. Tottenham Hotspur has finally won a game. It seems like forever ago that we last got 3 points in the Premier League, but nevertheless, Ryan Mason takes over as interim manager. First game, first W. Welcome back, everyone, to the next episode of the United Spurs of America podcast. I'm Michael Ramirez alongside my good friend, best bud, Jacob Ballraven.
Hey.
Jacob, finally a win on the board. 3 more points, and top 4 is within grasp.
It is
A lot of work to
definitely.
do. A lot of work to do, but it's still open. We still have a shot.
That's the fun part, right? I think Chelsea has a game in hand and they're 2 points ahead of us. Hey, we got Sheffield United after this Carabao Cup. Lot to be excited about. I thought what a great second half for Ryan Mason and for Tottenham Hotspur, and 3 points. Oh my God, 3 points.
It feels so good to say it, man. I feel like I already mentioned in the intro, it just feels like forever since we've had a result like this where not only did we win, but positive vibes, definitely a solid second half performance, something to build on moving forward, especially with such a big cup final on Sunday. This win was very, very important, man. So we'll get into it. 2-1 win over Southampton, like I said. Very, very sluggish first half. I was very, very disappointed in the boys' performance in the first half. Danny Ings netted his one goal that he seems to always score against Tottenham recently. That makes it 6 goals in his last six games against Tottenham. Man just seems to score against us. Didn't matter though. Second half, very, very good response from the lads. I'm very, very interested to see what the team talk was like during halftime. What Ryan Mason's, first real big team talk with adversity going against the team looked like, man, and sounded like. I wonder what went in there in that locker room, because the boys had such a great response in that second half. Looked a lot more lively, created more chances. We just looked better, man.
To be a fly on the wall of that locker room at halftime, I would love to be. I felt like, one of the announcers said, what does a 29-year-old former teammate of these guys, what does he say at halftime to these guys to rile them up, to get them ready out, to go out there and put 2 goals in?
And 3 guys in the starting 11 alone are older than Ryan Mason. Just think about that. Toby, Hugo, and Gareth Bale, all older than Ryan Mason. That's insane, man. And
what
then
about Sissoko?
Well, that's just in the 11. That's just in the 11.
Okay.
So they were the only 3 in the 11 that are older than Ryan Mason. But yeah, man, it would have been very, very interesting to hear that team talk, because whatever he said must have worked. Like I said, looked a lot more lively, created many more chances in that second half compared to the first half. We looked really tired, man. We talked about this a little bit earlier. We looked tired. We looked sluggish. We just looked like a team that wasn't in form, and obviously we weren't, but you would have liked to see a little bit more of a response, especially with a new manager. I felt like they could have let off the shackles a little bit that Mourinho was holding them under. Obviously Gareth Bale was starting, Toby Alderweireld was starting. That fell out of favor with Mourinho near the end of his tenure. I was very disappointed, but luckily had a great second half. But what were some of your thoughts, Jacob, from that first half? Obviously didn't play up to our expectations. What did you see?
First half, I like to start with, pregame and seeing Eric Dyer in the lineup, having a bit nervous. I know I had you upset. So
what was the first thing I said? I said, okay, Bale's back, but what is Eric Dyer doing in there, man? Again, what did he do from Everton on Friday to now? I don't understand it, but I don't know. That was my only thing with the 11.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I thought, putting Lucas up there at the striker position, he kind of disappeared, but he did some good things. He was just all energy, right? I thought that was pretty good for us. I thought Gareth Bale had one hell of a game. When you mentioned the shackles coming off from the Jose Mourinho era, my first thought was just that it seemed like they were just running around without thinking about football. They were just like, okay, great, no Jose Mourinho to fucking worry about, so let's just pass the ball. And they were fucking around basically, and Southampton took advantage of that. I think Danny Ings But he always scores against Tottenham, right? Isn't that
Yeah, six
he's
goals in
never
his last 6 games, man.
he's
The
never
guy's a
not scored
machine
at
when he
that
plays this.
stadium, right?
I believe so. Yep.
Anyway, but I still thank you, Danny Ings. Was it left hamstring? Because as soon as
Yeah.
he went out, that game turned around. Bottom
Hmm.
line, I don't know if it's the halftime talk or if it was the lack of Danny Ings on their side. Um, to me, what impressed me most was just the second half grit and determination. That it was
Yeah.
in the 80th minute. I'm sitting there wondering, you know,
I thought we were
VAR's
gonna
already
draw.
VAR's already
At
fucked
that
us.
point,
Yeah,
yeah, I thought at that point the VAR decision already went against us. Sonny's goal got ruled out. It was 1-1. To be honest, man, I already had it chalked up because we had seen that story so many times before. But
mhm. Hey, going back to the Sunny thing, what's your take on that? Was Lucas blocking
yeah,
the
so
keeper? I
let's talk
mean,
about it a little bit. So for those of you who didn't see the goal that got disallowed by Heung-min Son, he got the ball and pretty much in the middle of the box. It was a great team
right
play.
in front of the
I believe
6 yard.
I believe Lo Celso started that whole transition, that whole counterattack, I believe. Pass it out to I think he passed it to Lucas. Lucas passed it back to Lo Celso, I believe. And then Lo Celso played it out wide to Regulon.
Mhm.
Regulon cut it back and crossed a low driven cross into the middle of the box for Sonny to meet with his left foot. And it was pretty clinical, man. I mean, it didn't seem out of the ordinary. Lucas was in front of him. He was in an offside position, but in my opinion, he didn't really have any much influence on that goal. I believe that whether or not he was in front of the keeper or in front of Son, I think that's going in, man. It was a very powerful strike into the bottom left corner of the goal. I didn't think the keeper was getting there.
Yeah, the
That's
pace
just
on
my opinion,
the
though. That I think I can see why VAR disallowed it. I disagree with it, man. Because take out Lucas, you really think that keeper is blocking that shot from Son from that close range? I don't think so.
yeah. I mean, there's too much pace on that ball,
Yeah, for sure.
plain and simple. But it is what it is, and the guys rallied. I think that was the biggest takeaway from that.
Yeah,
It was weird not having the security of Harold Keane, but Sonny, I think last year he proved that he's more than capable of taking those penalties.
yeah,
When Harry Kane went out, I think he had one or two, I know.
yep.
Um, so, but yes, it was not 100% certainty that.
No,
But hey, watching Harry Kane celebrate in the stands, I think that was a beautiful sight for everybody.
it was.
Um,
So you take a look at the first goal, which was scored by Gareth Bale. Beautiful, beautiful curler. It was off a deflected shot. I believe was it Regulon who had
Lucas,
the deflected shot? Lucas?
Lucas,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was Lucas. Bounced out to the right hand side of the box to Bale. He kind of squared it up himself, curled the ball into the top left corner, into the back. Um, if I do say so myself, it was beautiful, man. It was vintage Bale. Created something out of nothing. That was the first goal. Like we mentioned, VAR chalked off Son's goal a few minutes later. I think it was like 10 or 15 minutes after that fact. I think it was closer to 10. But ended up getting a VAR call that actually went our way. I feel like uh, when was the last time a VAR call went our way? I feel like it's been a while. I feel like we've had a few instances where VAR went against us more than they've gone for us in the past few months. I don't know.
That would have been
Anyways,
something interesting to look up before we started the show. But yeah, no, I do agree that when it comes to VAR, it's a little skeptical. But uh, just to kind of put a bow on my overall thoughts before the game started, there was no Joe Rodon in the 18. Sanchez was on
yep,
the bench. Um, for me, I feel like I don't know why he would do that other than maybe he just respects Sanchez more than he respects Rodon. I don't know. I feel like Joe's done enough recently anyway to warrant at least a spot on the bench. Wasn't even in the
yeah.
18, but seeing
So
Steven Bergwijn in the 18, that got me excited. I know that.
Winks and Steven Bergvine back into the 18. Like I already mentioned, Toby, Bale, Lo Celso back in the starting lineup. I know Bale and Toby had a little bit of a falling out with Jose near the end of his tenure. Haven't didn't really see anything on Lo Celso though. Not really sure where his allegiances lie. But anyways, yeah, Winks and Bergvine back into the 18, started on the bench today. They were both brought on as substitutes. That was the other thing I wanted to kind of touch on for the Southampton match is that the substitutes in the second half, I really thought they were decent, man. I don't think I disagreed with any of them. Ndombele looked a little gassed near the, I believe it was like the 71st minute or something like
Mhm.
that when he came off for Harry Winks. Winks came on. Distribution was pretty good. I actually thought Winks had a decent game. He wasn't asked to do too much. I think that's where he really shows his strengths is when he's not asked to do too much with the ball, not to be too much of a creative passer in that middle of the field. Played well alongside Hoybier. Lamella came on later on in the game for Lucas, or excuse me, Lo Celso, and then Bergvine came on at the end for Bale. All three substitutes I don't disagree with. I thought they were fine, but the one player I did want to see. I think you have a feeling of who it was, right?
I know what you're gonna say. I already know where you're going. Deli Alley.
We've got LA, Deli LA. I just don't think you understand. Yes, sir. I would have liked to see Deli Alley in the at some point in the match, man. But what I started to think about the more I thought about it, I guess throughout the match, that's two managers in a row now that haven't started Deli Alley and haven't even brought him on as a sub. Mourinho did that for the majority of this season, and now Ryan Mason in his first game chose to do the same as well. I I get he's probably not in his best form, obviously, but there's got to be something going on in training, man. He might have just not trained well the past week or so. I don't know.
I don't know. I really thought that there was a strong chance of Delhi coming on.
Me too. Yeah,
But the thing was, I think the game dictated different subs, right? You saw Harry Winks come on first. I think that that was a tactical move. You know, we'd gotten the goal and we needed to go up, but Tongi was starting to get gassed. And um, you know, seeing Winks back there with Hoybier, I didn't mind it actually. I was a lot less I was more impressed, I'll put it that way, than I thought I would be. But I just don't know at what point during the game bringing Dele Alli on would have served us better. I think there was moments there where I felt like maybe for Lo Celso or Lucas, but I guess my heart was more just wanting to see Steven Bergwijn, and I'm very glad I got to see that. So
hey, that is the first appearance since Liverpool, I believe, in January. Premier League appearance, anyways, for Steven Bergwijn. By the way,
mhm,
I'm pretty sure that's accurate. You
that's
can fact check me if you want out there at home, but I'm pretty sure his last game was against Liverpool in January. Obviously, he had a decent performance, but didn't put any of his chances away. That was the main thing which led to his benching and ultimately, I guess, got him out of the 18 in Jose's eyes. But definitely great to see him back out there, man. I definitely agree. Steven Bergwijn has been a mixed bag so far at Tottenham, but he's definitely, you can see the flashes, man. You can see that
oh,
talent. You
I
can see the
know.
potential. It's just about unlocking that. It's about whichever manager is going to unlock that. Jose did it a little bit when Bergvine first joined our squad, but after that he kind of phased out a little bit. But yeah, man, I liked all the subs. What about you? Was there anyone that you would have brought on instead of Winks, Lamella, or Stevie? To be honest, man, I think the only one that I would have disagreed with was maybe Lamella Delhi instead of Lamella, but I thought Lamella brought on some pretty decent energy when he did come on in the second
Came in
half.
there and he shitted on him. That's what
Yeah.
we needed him for. Dele Alli's gonna go in there and try and finesse on him. I prefer the Lamella sub. If you'd asked me this last year or when we were both still back in Dallas, um, I probably would have been like, why?
Back
I
when you
remember,
hated Lamella.
oh, I know, but Lamella's my guy. Bring him on, let him fuck around with the other team, let him mess with their mentals. I love it. I mean, to me, I would have maybe done the Gareth Bale sub a little sooner.
He did look a
Um,
little gassed like
yeah,
midway through the second half. But
yeah.
the good thing about him coming off is now he gets extra rest for Sunday. You already know he's going to start on Sunday.
Oh, he's
Um,
has to.
Ryan Mason mentioned post game in his post match interview. One of the questions he got asked was, what was the main difference? It was something along the lines of what was the main difference between you and Jose's, I guess, thinking of putting Bale in the 11. Obviously, Bale wasn't starting that much at the end of Jose Mourinho's tenure at Tottenham. First game under the charge of Ryan Mason, he gets the start and he ends up getting the goal. So, that was
He
one
was
of
a
the
difference
questions that I
maker
was
there.
starting to think about that, man. Like how with that mentality and that thinking and that reasoning of why you start him today, you have to start him on Sunday, especially after he got the goal. He's got the momentum. He's got what 7 80ish minutes under 80 80ish more minutes under his belt. I think he'll be ready to go for Sunday, man. I'm hoping so.
I think so. That's the only reason really why I also thought maybe I would have liked to see him come off a little sooner, just so he had a little bit fresher legs. I hope that Father Time is kind on him this weekend, but I will say that, I'm hopeful to see number 14 at least on the bench. I mean, I felt like that he's proved enough as of late anyway. It's like,
Yeah. I definitely don't disagree with you.
yeah,
I think maybe the reasoning for that, I guess this is just my opinion. Obviously, I don't know what went into the thinking of the selection by Ryan Mason, but you have Dyer and Toby back there. They're pretty experienced. I felt like he wanted to go with a more experienced center back pairing, maybe trusting them a little bit too to hopefully not make too many mistakes out there. The one goal that Southampton had wasn't even Toby or Dyer's fault, to be honest. It was just Aurier didn't do a very good job of man marking Ings on the corner, and he ended up getting a deflection off his head, and it ended up hitting the post and going in. But other than that, obviously a shaky start to the game. They had their first real chance, which was like a deflected shot, and then saved off the line by Hugo, like what, two
very
feet
early
away,
on.
maybe. It was
In the
like in the
second
first
minute.
minute or two. Yeah,
Yeah.
second minute of the game. It was a very shaky start for the back line already. And after that had happened, man, I was already, you know me, my negativity and pessimism was starting to kick in. Like, oh God, we're gonna concede two before we even score one. But other than that, not a terrible performance from the back line. Definitely not stellar, but it could have been a lot worse.
I mean, I think if we look at the first half, there's a lot of things we could point at that was not good, frankly.
Yep.
I have here in the 13th minute that Reggie had a poor touch. Excuse me, Reguilon had a poor touch on the ball, and Walker Peters, which shout out Kyle Walker Peters,
Shout out Kyle Walker Peters.
which I mean, if he was a Harry Kane type, he probably would have put that in the back of the net. So I think we got lucky there. There's a few times we got lucky, but then I also have here in the 16th minute that Dyer and Bale both had some good defense. So we were shaky. We were hanging on. I think if that's a Man City or a Man United, they go up one or two there instead of just one. But yeah, I thought what a second half. What we don't get that often, right?
We
Second
don't get a
halves of
response. We usually get the opposite of a response in the second half when Jose Mourinho is manager.
right. We usually
And that
go up
bring
1-0 in the first 10 minutes, and
and then we
then
sit back
yeah,
and just try to preserve the 1-0 lead. Which brings me to my next point, man. It's just the beginning. Had a short week of prep with the manager, so obviously there wasn't too much I guess too much to taste in that first game as far as the bigger picture. But what did you think of Ryan Mason's Tottenham? Definitely more attacking, I feel like, and I think we've already talked about we mentioned the key points that I want to bring up with Mason's Tottenham's, I guess, mindset, that
mhm,
passion, the response of the second half. He mentioned bravery as well.
mhm.
He mentioned they just want to play like Tottenham Hotspur again. That is what Ryan Mason's philosophy was heading into this game. That's what he answered to those questions about what the identity was going to be under his
Mhm.
leadership. I really like the response, man. Really, really like the response today, and you could tell that the players were leaving it all out there in the second half. You couldn't say that about the first half, though.
No, I don't think you can. For me, it was, it was exciting.
Yeah,
It was the unknown, right? Like what's going to happen? What is he telling the players? What will happen? And I think that was kind of fun and it was refreshing. Um, I think my Fitbit was going crazy, like my heart rate,
telling
but
you to breathe.
yeah, I mean, I think I even sent that to the group chat, like, y'all, I'm fucking shaking over here. And but that's beautiful, right? That's why we love this.
Exactly.
And for me it was fun. It was fun. I think on the last pod we said 24 hours to get over. I think it took me 48 hours to get over the
Yeah,
Jose
I
thing.
think you stretched the rule a little bit.
Yeah, but I will say this morning I did wake up just positive. Hey, let's do this, Mason. I'm behind you. What else am I gonna say? Just I'm not gonna be
Yeah,
the guy trying to drag the bus down. You know what I mean? I'm gonna
yeah.
be the guy trying to put gas in it. So toot toot, let's go. I mean, I loved it. Give me more. 1-0 as our manager.
Exactly.
We
And
need
at the end of
more.
the day, that's really all that
Hey,
matters.
we going to
We
bed 1
mentioned
and
it.
0.
We mentioned it on our, I guess, our farewell episode for Jose Mourinho. We had some good wins. We had some good moments, but at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what you get on that sheet of paper
Mhm.
at full time. When the full time whistle blows, who is on top and who is not. And at the end of the day, he's the youngest manager to manage a Premier League game, and he's now the youngest manager to win a Premier League game as well. 1-0.
Go.
Ryan Mason's tenure at Tottenham is starting off in a positive way. Um, I'm just happy, man. I'm excited. I am definitely looking forward to Sunday. I think I was starting to dread it a little bit when Jose was our manager because I just felt like even if we scored first, you already knew what was going to happen afterwards. I don't even have to tell you what was going to happen. It was going to happen. We were going to sit back. We were going to defend for the rest of the game, and we probably would have lost 2 or 3-1. That
Mhm.
was probably what it was going to be. Now, let's see, man. Let's see what the mentality is going into this game. I'm definitely expecting to see a banger of an 11. And like you already mentioned, I'm crossing my fingers and I'm praying to God that Harry Kane is in that 11 because if he is, obviously that's a game changer for us, man.
Mhm.
It was Southampton today. It definitely wasn't Man City or Liverpool
Hey,
or
they were top of the
United, any
league
of
at
the
one
big
point.
teams.
They
Yeah,
were
they
top of
were,
the
I
league at
guess.
one point, so
But
give them their
they
credit.
have been down bad recently. I believe they've only won, what was it? They
Oh
won
yeah, they got
three
stomped by
of
West
nine or
Brom.
something like that. They've
They got
won three of
stomped
their
by
last
West Brom
9.
like last two
Yeah,
games
they've
ago,
had
something like that.
so they haven't been on their best form, but nevertheless, man, a win is a win. Definitely saw some positive signs. Like we already said, the attitude was there, the bravery was there, and that's all you can really ask for in Tottenham Hotspur these days. But yeah, man, big game on Sunday, isn't it? Big
Huge.
game on Sunday. I'll go ahead and put on the pod. I'll put it on the record. I'll put it out there. If we get a win this Sunday, I am going to get a Tottenham tattoo. It is going to happen. I'm thinking of
Hey.
getting. I'm thinking of getting "To dare is to do" in French, right there. The club slogan right here on the forearm. But we got to get the dub first. Massive match on Sunday. Carabao Cup final against Man City. Obviously, league leaders. They just won 2-1 today. Um,
10v10.
besides praying, what else are you looking for in this game, man? Big task, tall task for Ryan Mason in just his second game in professional management. But nevertheless, you got to win it, man. Got to win it.
There's an old acronym here in the States, and I'm sure many of you have heard it. It might be a movie actually that I'm stealing this from, but it's KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying Ryan Mason is stupid. I'm just that's the acronym. But I think keeping it simple. I think just do what we're good at, play to our strengths, and know that Man City's going to be passing the ball a bunch. Hopefully, Phil Foden is off of his game. He had a really good game
I'm
today.
scared, man.
Versus
Yeah, I was about to say he had a very good game today. Phil Foden he's special, man. He's special.
Yeah, and hey, more power to the kid, but hopefully on Sunday he ain't fucking running that great, or he ain't the ball coming off his foot wrong. I hope that's the case. Um,
He also
so
wasn't playing Pierre-Emile Højbjerg in the middle of the pitch, though.
hey, that's what I'm saying. Let Pierre get a couple hard tackles on him. I mean, the kid, from what I've gathered, he's a little rough. He's from the streets, right? Like he played a lot of street ball,
He's pretty
so
physical. He's pretty
yeah.
physical.
Hey, I think it'll be a great game. And I think um, just the chance that Ryan Mason's gonna come in here, his second game as manager, and
29 years
possibly
old.
bring the silverware. And you know what? Even if he doesn't, it kind of goes back to my point last pod was it gives us an out, quite frankly, to be like, oh well, it's his second game as manager. Give the guy a break, right? But I think, hey, he wins Carabao. Who knows? We make top 4. Is he the manager next year?
If we win the Carabao Cup and make top 4, you have to put him in the conversation. Frankly,
Why
I think it'd be
change?
disrespectful not
Why?
to at that point
Yeah.
because you've asked the man to do these things and he's executed and exceeded your expectations. Let's be honest. We're not expecting Spurs to reach top 4 with an interim manager who's 29 years old, but if it happens, it
Hey, let's
happens.
put it this way. We were already saying in the previous pods after the draws and the losses that, okay, top 4 is kind of out of shot. So the
Yeah.
fact that I still kind of feel that way. But at the end of the day, I'm also like,
There's still that
in the
like
hey, in the 80th
sliver
minute,
of
right?
hope.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. In the 80th minute, I'm still gonna be like, maybe we could do it, baby.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do it. And you know what? Yeah, big ups to the lads because beautiful game. Made me very happy. My son also fell asleep on me while I was watching the game. And as soon as he fell asleep, nothing but good things happened, starting with
Nice.
Danny Ings'
So
left hamstring.
you couldn't celebrate any of the goals though?
I was like, that's how I
The
did it.
thrust in your chest.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. But man, great game. Gareth Bale, thank you for your work today. That is my man of the
Yes,
match.
and we're going to need another one on Sunday. Yeah, let's go into our. I totally forgot, man. I feel like that's a sin on this pod. We got to go through our man of the matches today.
I already dropped mine,
For
Gareth
me, all
Bale.
right, you got Gareth Bale. For me, oh man, this is tough. Honestly, I haven't really thought about this. I'm going with I'm going with Son. I got to go with Son.
Hmm.
At the end of the day,
He was my second choice.
stone cold from the spot. It
Beautiful.
obviously there's probably a greater chance of it going in than not going in, but at the end
Mm.
of the day, you still got to convert. The man stepped up. He took his penalty and he took it like a champ, man.
Hey,
What
he
can I
put his
say?
chest.
It was for 3 points as well. Don't get that wrong. Don't get it twisted. Put some respect on this man's name. He stepped up to the spot when we needed him. When we needed a Harry Kane esque in the box, he became that Harry Kane esque that we needed. And at the end of the day, man, he delivered the 3 points for us. But I have Gareth Bale as a close second. You can really pick either one, in my opinion, today.
I feel the
Great
same
performance
way.
from both.
I feel the same way because I'm gonna go ahead and say that I don't think the judging really starts until the second half because they both started making differences in the second half. Sonny was running around free. I kind of liked it. Let him run around free. Beautiful man. Let him run around free. That's my guy. I'm losing my point here, but what what I liked was seeing him smile again, seeing us smile again. I think it's beautiful. The
the
fans are happy.
picture,
The
the
fans were
picture
showing
of
out before the
Son.
game saying Innick out. I mean,
Oh
just
my God, the
we were on
passion.
it. We were there. We were there. We had to win that, and we did, and it was
I'm just
beautiful.
I'm just waiting for Levy to resign, bro. I'm just waiting for Daniel Levy to resign.
Nah, he looked extra
I
comfy up there when
Oh,
they
he
kept showing.
did.
He
He's
looked
not
super
he's
comfy.
he's he's not leaving, man. He's a
Mm.
greedy old man who's going to write out his paycheck until the day he dies.
Write me a
Um
paycheck. Shit.
the picture though, of Heung-min Son and Sergio Reguilon at the end of the
Mm.
game, it was right after Sonny had scored his penalty. You can just see the happiness on both of their faces, man. I really hope we get to see some more smiles over the next few weeks, not only with wins, but the players being able to enjoy themselves out there. Obviously, at the end of Jose's tenure, we weren't really seeing that.
Hmm.
But I definitely agree with you, man. It was good to see him smile again. It was good to see him having fun. But I just need Dele Alli in that 11, baby.
Hey, maybe he'll do something for us at the cup.
I
Maybe.
don't think I don't think he starts on Sunday, but I think there's a good chance he comes off the bench. Um,
I
but we'll
think if we're
see.
down,
Who
I think if we're
knows?
down, I think if we're down late, Deli Alley comes on.
He's got to be an option for sure. Any final thoughts, man? I know we kind of tore this game open and really dove deep into it, but
Hey, it was a win,
right,
baby. We got
hey,
it.
finally on the pod after what, 3 weeks or something like that.
Hmm.
God, man, it's been such a long time since we had a pod after a win. Yeah, it felt really good, man. Ryan Mason's Tottenham tenure got off to a positive start. What can I say? One of our own. Hashtag it. This club is my only club. For this club, I cannot change. But 3 points in the bag, man. Let's go over the Premier League table real quick before we move on, um, and wrap this pod up for today. Tottenham sitting in sixth place, 33 games played, 53 points, 2 games behind fourth place Chelsea. Chelsea does have a game in hand with 32 played. But like we already mentioned, man, we do have some relatively easy schedule for the rest of the league schedule. Like you already mentioned, Sheffield United is next after Man City. That is the Sunday after on May 2nd. Then we have a pretty tough game against Leeds. They always play the top six very, very well. Got Wolves right after that, another tough game, but we are back at home. Then we finish the season off with Villa and Leicester City. It's doable, man. It's doable. That's what I'll say. It's doable to reach top four. The light is there. We just have to execute. But regardless, very winnable games down the stretch.
Hmm. I agree. I think we got some tests coming up. I don't think we should take anything lightly. Um,
Definitely not.
Even Sheffield United, they're already relegated, but hey, at this point, they're playing for pride. And I think when you back a man into a corner, you see what he's made of. And they're professional athletes at the end of the day. So
Yep.
none of these games are going to come easy. I think we got to come in there and handle business, kind of like we did in the second half today. So yeah, I'm looking forward. You know, my predictions for the cup. You want my heart? Or you want my head?
Both. We'll go Carabao Cup predictions real quick. Let's go heart then head.
Heart 4-3 Tottenham.
Wow, high scoring game.
Yeah. Head 3-2 City. Unfortunately, they're just too much
Heart,
money, too much oil money.
heart, 2-1 Spurs. Head, 3-1 City.
All
Um,
right.
they are they're just a machine this year, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the verge of winning their third title in 4 years in the Premier League. Um, they still have the chance to win the treble, still in Champions League, the battle in the Premier League, are in the Carabao Cup final. Luckily, they won't get the quadruple. Um, they got knocked out by Leicester, right? Yes, Leicester City. They got knocked out by Leicester in the FA Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just they're a machine, man. Kevin De Bruyne might not play, which is very good,
Good.
but
Good news. Good news.
the other side of that is they still have Phil Foden. So it's tough, man. They don't have a lot of weaknesses, but the one thing I will say is that we've already beaten this season. It was a long time ago.
It
It
was with
was with
Jose.
Jose, but we did beat them. We know how to beat them. We were undefeated the last 3 games, at least, I believe. Yes, last 3 games against City before our loss a few months ago. I'm confident though, man. I am confident that I think we'll come out, we'll show out, we'll play with pride like we did in the second half. If we play like we did in the second half for all 90 minutes, we're winning. I honestly truly believe that. But the big if there is the consistency and what we're gonna look like at the start of the match.
I'm gonna scream at my family if we win. Just letting you know, my family's gonna get.
I think I might cry, man. I have been a Tottenham fan since 2014, and I have not seen them win a single title. I haven't seen them win a single trophy. Their last trophy was in '08 Carling Cup. I honestly think I'll cry. I've seen them get knocked out of many competitions in my life. I have seen them blow cup finals,
Mm.
Champions League finals, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, when it was the Capital One Cup, whatever it may be. I think I'm gonna cry if we win. I really do.
Hey,
We'll see how it goes though.
we're gonna have to share a drink on Sunday.
For sure, man. I'm gonna be absolutely blasted if we win though. I'm gonna be all sorts of fucked up if we win that cup on Sunday. And you best believe that
It'll be a fun pod.
our that podcast, because we're gonna do it right after the match. We've already agreed to this. We're gonna do a live post match. Well, not technically not live, but directly post match podcast after the Carabao Cup. And it is either going to be the saddest thing that you have ever listened to or one of the funniest things you have ever listened to. Let's go over the Super League real quick, just because it was big news yesterday in the world of football. The Super League. Let's all take a moment of silence for the Super League real quick. All right, that's long enough. Fuck the owners. Fuck the people who are stingy with their money and just want all of the glory for themselves, all of the riches for themselves. Um, I am just so glad it hasn't gone through, man. Super League is now suspended. All English teams have withdrawn from the competition, along with both Milan's AC and Inter, and then Atletico Madrid as well. The only 3 teams that do remain in the Super League now are Real Madrid, their president who initiated the whole process of the creation of the Super League, and then Barcelona and Juventus as well. But I'll briefly go. We'll just briefly go over it, just because I know we both have a very, very big disdain for it and are very much against it. But any quick thoughts, man, before we wrap up this pod? Super League, rest in peace. We'll smell you later. Not gonna miss you.
Hey,
Didn't care for you.
what's that meme? Uh, with the African funeral where they're dancing with the
Oh, where they're
casket.
dancing with the casket.
Yeah, let's go. That's how I feel.
Just picture the Super League in a casket right here. I'm just vibing with it on my shoulder. Yeah,
Hopefully,
man. Get
hopefully
it
there's
out.
room for Dan Levy. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I like that Manchester. United, their guy stepped down. I think everyone should step down.
Ed Woodward, finally.
Yeah.
I think it was
Oh,
eight
yeah, you
seasons.
brought
He
him
was
up
the
last time
chairman.
too.
Ed Woodward and then the Glazers. The Glazers are not selling though. They penned a letter to their fans, and so did Liverpool, I believe. Liverpool's owner penned a letter and recorded an apology video.
Mm.
But
Well,
yeah, the United owners, the Glazers said that they weren't going to sell the team. So I
well,
don't really care. It's more power to them, honestly. I hope they stay there forever because
the only Glazer I like is the one at Krispy Kreme. So
yes, sir. Yes,
that's all I'm
sir.
gonna say about that.
Yeah, man. We'll wrap up this pod real quick. Hopefully Daniel Levy steps down as chairman. He's not going to, but we can all hope so, right?
Hey, we can have another emergency pod.
We could, and it would be another great emergency pod as well. But anyway, guys, big match on Sunday, Carabao Cup final, Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester City, Wembley Stadium in the capital. It's going to be huge,
fans.
man. 8,000 fans, yes, 8,000 fans in attendance as well. That should be interesting. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. This brand new edition of the United Spurs of America podcast. As always, please follow us on Spotify, Twitter, and YouTube. If you're interested in joining our Patreon, please consider supporting us as well. It's been a busy week for us. We've recorded 3 pods in the last 5 days. It's been a whirlwind of a week in world football and as a Tottenham fan as well.
Yeah, shout out to my family for putting up with me.
For sure, man. It has been an insane last 5 days.
Yeah.
Insane. But the engagement has been awesome the past week. We've already mentioned it on the last few pods, but thank you so much for all of you guys who have been
let's keep it
engaging with us on social media, especially on Twitter, who have been listening to our podcasts week in and week out. We definitely appreciate the support. Please keep it up. Please let us know your thoughts. Any feedback is greatly appreciated, negative or positive. And as always, up the lads. Come on, you Spurs.
Up
and hopefully,
lads.
by the time you listen to us on Sunday, we'll be lifting a trophy.
Come
For Michael
on,
Ramirez,
Spurs.
For Jacob Wallraven, I am Michael Ramirez. We'll
Yes,
see you
sir.
guys on Sunday.
Boys,
Hopefully,
boys.
it will be a very, very happy edition of the United Spurs of America podcast. We'll see you then.